This video is going to go over my full trip on magic mushrooms, a 3.5 dose. So if you want to hear more about that and the details, stay tuned. Hey, what's going on? It's Joel.
Lexi.
From Cosmic Combos. Real quick, briefly, I've been microdosing probably for about 4 months. Me and my wife have microdosed. It was at a point I was microdosing almost every day.
Sorry, y'all. We got 6 kids, so I'm just back here rolling up socks.
Yeah, I was microdosing mushrooms, and I liked it. I had the feeling of it. I like what it was doing, and I go over that in another video. But I finally mustered up. I wanted to go on a full trip and see how it is. I heard so many good things about it, as far as like spirituality, personal development, and I was nervous for a long time. But I finally did it. I finally took a 3.5 and just said, forget it. So I took the mushrooms. I had the intent that I was going to see crazy things, animated, all these visuals. I had seen a few visuals before, like when I took 1.5 or 2 grams. I see like little visuals with the carpet or when I close my eyes. So I thought I was in for a ride, and I was, but it wasn't visual. It was more of like emotional or more feeling, more knowledge, like download base. If you've been on mushrooms before, you kind of know what I'm talking about. You get knowledge from the mushrooms. It's weird. It's like you're in a classroom almost. And a lot of it is about yourself. And so I took 3.5 grams. I went over to my boy's house for a second. Usually it take about an hour, 45 minutes to kind of kick in. So I was over there talking to him, just kind of killing time. And I felt the come up. And so when you feel the come up, you get a little nauseated. So I thought I was going to, that was going to be a problem, but surprisingly it wasn't as nauseous as like taking 1.5 or 2 grams. I don't know if I kind of getting used to it at this point, but I wasn't as nauseous as I thought I was going to be. For a while, maybe about 10-20 minutes into it, I was kind of ignoring it, talking with my boy, acting like everything was cool, and then I just kind of, was up front with him because I didn't want to stay there my whole trip. I was like, yo, I took mushrooms, and I kind of want to be to myself. I want to catch this revelations or whatever and kind of figure things out, so I'm about to leave. So I do that. I leave his house. I go outside. It's a nice sunny day. I head to the park, and instantly I notice, I'm more connected to nature. I'm looking at the trees. I'm excited to be out in the sun and nature. I don't know why, but mushrooms make you feel like you just want to connect with nature. So I go to the park. I'm out there by myself for about 10 minutes, and then I get the urge to kind of just call my wife. I'm thinking something's going to happen. I don't know what it is. I just got the urge to call her. I was feeling, connected to call her. So I asked her to come out, and she brought the kids out. And I was like, I don't want the kids to kind of, be with me right now on this mushroom trip. I just kind of want to, me and you, somebody else comfortable with. You can get easily agitated on I'm not going to say easily agitated, but on mushrooms and psychedelics, period,
you gotta be cautious, right?
Yeah.
Aware of your emotions. Because
your emotions could kind of spiral. You could take a wrong turn. So I didn't want to be aggravated or even chasing the kids or too much of my attention. We got 6 boys, so someone that's always stop this or hey this or that. Yeah, so I didn't want that to kind of, trigger my trip. I haven't never been on this amount, 3.5 grams of mushrooms before. So it starts kicking in, but instantly, they didn't give me a problem at all. I almost felt like super connected to the kids. It made me more playful with them. It made me kind of almost feel like a child inside. It was like I kind of got them and I understood my children more than I ever have, ever before. It was weird. It was almost like I went out of adult mode and kind of just went into a playful child. I seen everything kind of from their perspective. And I wanted my wife to come join us, so I go over and talk to her. And for some strange reason, this is going to sound crazy, but this is what happens. I started like channeling, like legit channeling. Like, I don't know if it was like Mother Nature or who it was, but it was like, it was just talking directly to her. It was almost as like I went to the side and whatever this was, I felt like it was Mother Nature. I don't know what it was. I'm not sure if it was a different entity or whatever, or the all, God, whoever you want to call it. I don't know. But they started talking to my wife, very direct messages. And And it kind of freaked me out because I'm still aware, like consciously, like I can hear and I see and I know that something's speaking through me, but I know it's not me. And for her, it was tripping her out. Like, I'm gonna just let her talk and kind of share like some of the stuff that how it made her feel. But it was very blunt though. It wasn't like sparing her feelings. It was just kind of like straight to the point. I don't think it was rude. It was just kind of like, it was just being what it was. But you can go ahead and
Okay, so he called me and asked me to meet him to the park. So we get to the park, and I was actually reading, what is that book? The little, it's like a book about auras, because I had like started getting it. Like I was kind of getting into like colors, and I was being called to colors. So we went to the park, and I had the book, and I'm like, cool, the kids are at the park, which is what I normally do when the kids go to the park. Either I'll sit there and I'll like read a book or whatever. So I'm sitting there and he keeps coming like, come play with the kids, come play with the kids. And I'm like, today is just not that day that I want to play with the kids. I just want to like just read my book. I want to be unfucked with. Like, that's what it is. So he then begins to say, so then he was like, oh, everything that you want in that book, all the answers that you want in the book is right here. Like, it's right here. You can ask me. It's right here. So I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
At this point,
like,
I was
whatever. I'm like,
what
what are you talking about? Like, you going through this, after you, like, in the midst of you going through your awakening, you are at this point where it just seems like, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's just, you start asking the universe for certain things and certain things to be revealed to you, and you get used to this change. You get used to wanting to like become a better person. And so there's things that we ask the universe about, and it's like, okay. So it was literally like somebody was taking all of the shit that I just was like, didn't want to deal with. Not necessarily, I won't necessarily say that I didn't want to deal with. It was just that somebody was taking all of the shit that was like left over and just flipped it in, like they flipped me inside out. So it was almost like when I was like, because when I was younger and I was in school, like I used to get, you know, kids could be very like, you know, they could be little assholes sometimes. So when I was in school, like, you know, I used to get picked at and stuff in school. So it was almost like somebody took those vulnerable moments from me and flipped me inside out. And it was almost like that nakedness that was hitting inside of me. It was like it was being showed to everybody because of the stuff that he was saying. And then he was saying it to me in front of my kids.
But mind you, it was a lot of stuff that I wasn't even aware of. Like, so it was totally weird.
Listen.
Like,
I'm not that type of person. I'm not that chick. Let's just say that. Because when he started saying stuff to me, I knew that it wasn't him. But at the same time, it's like, I'm from the hood. So it's like, my guards went completely up. And I'm like, man, don't say shit else to me. Like, I'm done. Like, you know, and I was getting upset. And me and him, we really don't argue. We have like the best relationship. But it was just like, no, I feel like you coming for me. And I had got so upset. And he was just saying all this different stuff. And he was like, oh, you know, like, you don't care about this. You know, like, you care too much about that. You shouldn't care about all of these different things. And like, you know, you're reading this book, but everything that's inside of this book, like, you could just ask me, you could just talk to me. And I'm just like, I don't want to say shit to you.
I felt like she had got a clear pass to the universe for whatever questions, whatever she needed to hear, because I kind of felt the presence, and it was kind of like, yo, it's a whole source of information, a whole wealth of knowledge. Like, I felt like I was, you know, like Mother Nature, the universe or whatever, like speaking through me. And so I was like letting her know, like, look, if I had this opportunity, I would just be, you know, sitting here asking whatever questions or whatever. And I felt like she was just denying the whole experience and trying to read this book. But it's like, yo, everything you need is right here. So after that, it was probably, what, like 30 minutes of that at the park?
Yeah, we went to the park. I mean,
but mind you, I was channeling for about 3 hours straight.
When I say that, this was the longest damn trip. Like, I was like about to be like sleeping at the park. Like, this is gonna be done, because it was like, it seemed like he was on that trip all day long. And I guess because it was just like directed, it was directed just towards me.
I wish I would have.
He wasn't messing with nobody else.
I felt like I wanted. That's what I wanted. Like, what I wanted out of the trip, what my intentions was out of the trip, I felt like it surpassed me, and it just opened up for her. And so, like, mind you, I'm like consciously there, but I'm not at the same time. As this whatever's speaking through me, whatever this is, I'm channeling. And I just couldn't help but feel like, yo, you're mad. I wish I had that, that experience. Like, I wish I had what you get, and that's why I took the shrooms, so I can get that exactly thing that is given to you. But she was pissed off about it, so I couldn't get it. Pissed. And so I remember going to the store, and for whatever reason, like, we had our kids going to the store, but I felt so, like, I had an ego death, but it wasn't, like, I had an ego death before from a natural experience, but this ego death, I knew it was because I felt like I had merged with the all, and everything was like a oneness. And like, our kids was like running. Usually as a parent, you like freaking out, running behind them. You got to get their hands. But I just had this overwhelming peace, and it just was like, yo, they're all right. Everything is here protecting them. They don't have anything to worry about. It was, we walked to the store, the concept of money and like paying for stuff was like, it was distorted. I kind of just felt like, yo, I'm in the store. I want this orange juice. Let me just get it and walk out. I almost had to catch myself like, yo, what are you doing? You about to steal out of the store. But it didn't feel like I was stealing. It just felt like it was rightfully mine. Like, almost like, I don't know, like the concept of paying for something was almost like robbery to us. In a sense, I don't know why I felt like that. As I'm coming out, as we coming out the store, heading back into the apartments, we run into my sisters and my niece. My sisters stay in the building across from us, and 3 of them with my nieces, and I started to really sense this feeling as I was talking to my wife earlier. It was almost like feminine energy is like Earth was made for the feminine energy, or it was just something superior about the feminine energy in this moment. And then as my sisters, came around, and as we were all talking, it was like even more overwhelming feeling of like, man, like, y'all rule the planet, or I don't really know how to express it. It just seemed like feminine energy is more superior to us, for whatever, to males. I don't know if it was just me tripping on shrooms, but that's just how I felt in this particular moment. And so as we talking, my sister's talking, she mentioned something about me retwisting my hair. It'd look longer if I retwist it. And the whole idea about me retwisting my hair, altering anything about myself seemed weird. It was like almost like intrusive, like it wasn't right. It was like, nah, it's just perfect exactly how it is. You get what I'm saying? And normally I would, retwist and make it look longer or whatever. Like, I sometimes look, even now, like, yeah, I could use a retwist. But in that moment, it was just kind of like, nah, leave it exactly, how it is. I don't know why. But even like a cell phone, like my niece asked me for my cell phone. Hey, uncle, can I hold your phone? I was like, here, you can have it. Like, take this. I don't even care about it. I don't know what it was. It was just like, I didn't need anything else. I didn't care about anything external that wasn't physically like me or nature or something like that. And also, as I was talking to my niece, she touched my hair. She came over, and I bent down, lowered to the ground, and kind of got on their level. They're young. And I looked into her eyes, and it just felt like almost like, I don't know, it just felt like I was a kid again. I don't know if it was just me in this oneness state, but it was like we communicated on another level. It was real weird, kind of hard to explain. You just kind of feel it. If you've probably been on shrooms and felt this oneness around the people, nature, you know what I'm saying. And where we're standing at, it's like an open grass field. It's like a bunch of trees on the left side, and there's usually a lot of ant piles in the grass. And I wasn't worried about the ant piles. I was only like considering like the kids, like, yo, I don't want them to get bit by the ants. But for me, it was like the ants could crawl all over me. It just felt like we were all one. This one, things just got weird. We're on the way, walking in the house, and one of my sons asked for, something to drink. We bought juice, and I was like, here, I just opened up the jug and drunk some right off the top instead of, it was like the idea of a cup or like needing anything. It's like, yeah, this is the juice. You're thirsty, just drink this, like the gallon juice. It wasn't like you needed anything. I don't know why, but I get in the house. It was almost like I knew I was about to die for whatever reason. I don't know, and but I was completely cool with it. It wasn't no restriction. The only thing, it was like my wife, she was kind of frustrated and mad with me because of the channeling prior to that, and so she just got in the house and she was like, I'm done with it. I guess she just kind of was done with me, period, on the trip. So she got in the bed, laid down, and I was like, oh, I'm about to die. She don't want to talk to me. She gonna regret it. She gonna wake up, I'm gonna be dead. And I fell on the floor. I died. I died like 3 times, and each death was kind of different. One of them, I actually like felt like I was hanging myself in the kids' room, but for whatever reason, everything was in sync. After I was like, it just felt like as soon as I die, she's gonna come in the room. It was like I kind of knew everything before it happened, exactly how it was gonna happen. It was the weirdest thing ever, but there was no resistance to it. So I died 3 times, and then the 3rd time I died, I got like right in the bed next to her, and I just laid there like, and it was something about one of my sons, King. Like it was something like almost like he was the chosen one or something. I don't know. And it was like right before I died, he came in the room like crying. I was like, "Oh, King," and then I died. Like it was just weird.
And just for the record, I was so pissed off until like he was sitting on the bed and he just like fell on the floor, and I was like, I'm so over this trip. Like this.
I was like I was in a death loop or something. Like, I don't know. It was like,
and for the record, when he did tell me that, I was like, bruh, if you would have like, if it would have been the end, I would have been so mad, because it was like I had some stuff I needed to get off my chest, like for real, because it was just like, I feel like you've been drilling me all day. This trip was not about me. Why you in my business? Why is you coming for me? And it did not stop. What he not telling y'all, before he died all these 3 times, he got kicked out of the room. That's how he ended up. That's how he ended up down the hall, because he came back in the room saying stuff to me again. And I'm not gonna lie, I did. I at the end of it, I felt so bad, because I was like, I did. I told whatever it was, my higher self, whatever it was, I told it to shut the F up and stop talking to me, like for real. And I was done. So I felt so bad.
And so like, mind you, like, so after the last time I died, and I knew I was coming back. It was weird. It was like I was coming back, and as I came back, I heard something. It was like, you've done this over 1,000 times. Like, you've been here over 1,000 times. So I don't know if it was like I've been dying and reincarnating over 1,000 times. Like, but that's kind of what the message was after I died the last time, like coming back up. But the weirdest thing about it is like I heard people talk about channeling and being mediums and stuff, and you know how you kind of just brush stuff off. Even after my awakening, like after I had a spiritual awakening, it opened me up to a lot of stuff. Like my mind was blown. I had to research. I had a lot of questions and stuff, and so.
But that's a later video.
Yeah, but the idea of channeling, it was still kind of. Yeah. But after this experience, it was like, yo, nah, this is something that's real, and I never thought I was possible or whatever. So that kind of blew me. That was very weird. But all in all, I learned a lot in the trip. It kind of expanded my perception again. Like every time I take shrooms, it's like it's a learning experience. I did kind of wish that like the information that the universe or her higher self, whatever it was that was channeling through me, was kind of like giving me that. That's what I wanted to get out of the trip. But for whatever reason, it became mainly about her. And so I kind of just realized that my next trip, especially like a full dose, I want to probably just shut off and just be somewhere isolated by myself if I can, um, and kind of just keep it internal and about me because I was trying to figure out some answers and be on the journey, and that's what I take them for, to kind of get the growth spiritually for self development. Mushrooms have a weird way of like really putting like your what you need to work on internally in your face for you and making it clear like, yo, you come back, you can kind of work on this. I hear a lot of psychedelics do that, but I haven't tried DMT yet. I haven't tried ayahuasca. We do have an ayahuasca trip planned, me and my wife, so we gonna keep y'all posted on that. But it was amazing. I got all these different revelations and downloads. um, what else did I pull back from the trip?
Let me say this. Um, the thing about his trip that was so crazy is because after the fact, I knew that it wasn't really him talking. So I had to really go back and have this conversation with the universe. Like, okay, you know what? I'm sorry. Like, I had to really just, like, come to grips with the fact that a lot of those things was things that just made me feel so uncomfortable. But when I that night, like, I don't know what it is with me and a lot of women that I come in contact with, we tend to get a lot of downloads and stuff like that inside of the shower too. But I know I do. But that night when I went to go take a shower, I really just was talking to the universe, and I'm like, listen, um, I never want to reject anything that you want to show me. I never want to reject anything that the universe is trying to show me at all. I always have this perception that it's happening. Everything happens for me, not to me. So it was just like, okay, if this happened, this is happening for a reason. But prior to that, I had really been having these conversations with the universe and just doing a lot of different things within myself, like internally working on really releasing a lot of stuff and just like growing spiritually. So what began, when that happened to me, it was a lot of things that was just like completely uncomfortable for me. So that is so like
Okay, go on.
I can't do it with that right there. I can't like that it was just so it was so very like uncomfortable to me, and I knew that it had to be something that I was supposed to get out of it because the uncomfortableness of it. And you know after that happened, like after I had this conversation with the universe, like in the shower, the universe just told me like those were things that I needed to deal with. Those was things that needed to come out because those was hidden parts of myself that I didn't want to deal with, that I didn't want to face, that I didn't want to confront. And because it was just so out loud and in my face, and my kids and my husband is everything. So to me, it's just like it was almost like I was put back at that little girl that was in school being picked on again, but in front of the people that I love so much, and it just like it brought out this fireball, inside of me. And so I just began to like, really after the universe like, showed me that, it was like, dang, like the next day, like I felt so clear and so much better because I was able to like really release a lot of stuff. But I also know that whenever things like that happen, it's because it's something that you also, like just saying that if this happens to anybody else and y'all a couple and it happens, just know that from the other person that it's only happening because this is something that intuitively that you're seeking, like that you're looking for. You understand what I'm saying?
And so before I wrap it up, a few other things that I got. I just looked at my notes that I wrote when I was tripping. Um, at least for me, it let me know like children, like it could probably be my children specifically, or all children, like they know a lot more than we think they know. Like they more in tune to spiritual realm or whatever. Like they was connected, and it was more so like I got the feeling of like it was no really distinction between like a parent and child. You know, like we have this system or this hierarchy, like, yo, we're the parent, you're the child, you have to do this or this and that. It was kind of like, it was kind of even, like it was like almost like they're being just like I'm a being. That's kind of the feeling that I got on mushrooms. I didn't feel like I was superior to them or I was overshadowing. I mean, like I was, you know, like in command of them. It was almost like, yo, like we're on the same level. That's kind of how I felt. Also, it was more like life is a dream. Like it's not something to be, you know, like take so seriously. It made me feel like mushrooms are like a portal, and allows us to go through and see certain things or access different dimensions. But it definitely, so like if you're considering this, I'm not promoting it or saying, hey, go out and do it. But if you are, like, it definitely gives you like a sense of peace. I can see how it's used to help people who may have, you know, anxiety, depression, but it can enhance your anxiety if you're not, you know, like if you're not in the right state, it can. And I witnessed that with one of my sisters when she was on a trip. Um, but for me, it kind of put me in this uplifted state, the state of like everything is okay. Like the plant speaks to you, it gives you what you need when you need it. And like I said, it's like a mirror as well. It usually reflects what's going on and make things that may be hidden in the subconscious or in the background that you're not aware of. It kind of brings that stuff to the front. And you know what I'm saying? Like in HD clarity, like, yo, this is what you you know, this is what you should be dealing with. And I think that's dope, especially if you're on a self-improvement journey or you're trying to develop and grow spiritually. I will say that if you have like a certain religious belief, I'm not sure, it's just on me, like it may alter that belief system a little bit, you know, like
shake some stuff up.
It may show you some things, like
shimmy some stuff.
For me, how I feel is just like what I get from shrooms is really real to me. I feel like this is what it is. But it could just be me. Might just be, you know, like people say, hallucinations, or I don't think it's a hallucination. I think it's really like allowing you to access information that's there, that's been there. And it doesn't care about what you think or how you feel, what your belief systems is. I feel like it just kind of exposes the truth. And if you're not ready to open up that Pandora's box, I wouldn't dive right in. But if you think you are, and it's something that you kind of, you know, if you got questions, and you know, especially on the spiritual side, self-development, it may be something that could help. But be careful. Psychedelics, mushrooms are illegal in many countries. So if you might want to check that out, do it at your own risk.
Valid.
Nah, just letting them know, like they gotta know. So and if we want to monetize our videos, we gotta, you know, do this.
Well, just take input and just babbling out.
Alright, so I'm babbling. But yeah, so let me know if you experienced any of these things or how you felt or whatever. If you liked the video, I enjoyed the video. Let us know in the comments. Leave a comment. We appreciate y'all. Like, subscribe, share your friends. Check this out before you go on your trip. Or
share
if you've been
with your friends.
I said, what did I say?
Share your friends. Don't share your friends. Don't share your friends. Share the video
with your friends. Okay. Alright, so we're on the same page. But nah, like, subscribe, and keep us posted. Go ahead and comment your experience with mushrooms or how you feel if you've done them. And that's it. So appreciate y'all watching the video. I'm Joel.
I'm Lexi.
Cosmic Convos, and we'll be back with another video.